Hi, I'm Liv.
And I'm Patrick.
And this is the Mach-E vlog. And today we're going to talk to you about why we shouldn't get a GT. So let's go.
I'm confused.
Let's go. Okay, so here's the deal. Last November, back when we were driving a little old first edition Blucifer, OG Blucifer, we took a drive up to Evergreen to visit our friends. They have a really cool recording studio all the way out there. And that day, we shot a video talking about why we were happy with our first edition and we didn't need a GT. And here we sit in a GT Performance Edition on our way back to those same friends.
It's all your fault.
It's all Kyle's fault with Out of Spec Studios, but we never released that video. We have so much footage that we film and we never release because day jobs and all that stuff. So we figured this was a great opportunity to go on this really pretty drive. As you can see, we're entering the mountains. It's gorgeous, it's curvy. We're in a GT, we're enjoying the cushiness of a GT. So let's talk about why you should get a GT, why you shouldn't get a GT.
Yeah. So
totally refute what we said in the first video that you didn't know about.
I think we can talk about a little bit about last time and what we said about why we didn't think we needed a GT. And at the time, a lot of people were just getting GTs and we were looking at it. We hadn't actually driven one, but in our mind, we were like, nah, the first edition's fast enough. It drives well enough. And that's true. Like, we were not disappointed with our first edition. It's quick enough, very, very comfortable on our road trips, and fine for roads like this. But then we went to an EV summit hosted by Kyle Connor with Out of Spec Studios, and we drove a GT and got hooked pretty quickly on the benefits of going to a GT Performance Edition, but we still, we can still see both sides of the coin. Yeah, we can. And at the same time, as you can see, there's like arrows and everything because this is a very curvy route. And I'm wondering how drastic the footage is in comparison. And if we can find that old footage, we might have deleted it. We might have deleted it. I know I just deleted it from my computer like a few months ago, weeks ago, whatever. But it would be really interesting to see if that footage was different because the seats on the premium, the regular Mach-E, the non-GT are lovely. They're perfectly fine, really perfectly fine for like 90% of the driving, which is not this, right? But when we filmed that video, we were doing this. And those seats do not have bolstering like this. So right now, I'm not getting thrown around. I'm getting pressure from side to side as Patrick's cruising around the curves. But I'm definitely more cocooned, more comfortable. But at the time when we were going around in the premium seats, basically, that was probably not the case. Now those seats are really comfortable though. These are much firmer, they're much more tailored to your body, they're much more like performance oriented, right? Which is not necessarily what you want for the rest of the 90% of the driving. Yeah, a lot of comments like when we talked about we were upgrading to the GT Performance Edition, not a lot, but there was like 3 or 4 comments by people that said that that was like the one thing they didn't like in their GT Performance Edition. And some people were saying they even went with the GT instead of the GT Performance Edition because they didn't like the firmness of these seats. It hasn't bothered me so far, mostly short drives, although last Saturday we did a video up in Rocky Mountain National Park, so it was like a 200 and something mile drive. Check out the video above for that. I thought it was comfortable the whole day, and it just made the drive really easy. Although, as I said multiple times in the video, we were mostly just cruising around and just having fun and checking out the sights. But the seats are a huge factor. There's a lot of material changes that you don't really notice much. I mean, when you first get in, you're like, ooh, there's differences in material. But for the most part, I don't really notice them. I think a lot of people, when they hop in, like we've been giving friends a ride, and they notice them as well. It looks really nice inside. But I think the first edition looks great inside as well, and for that matter, the Select and California Route 1 as well.
And the regular GT with the copper accents.
Yeah, that's actually really unique, and I sort of was torn which interior I like better.
I actually like the GT. I like copper. It's a cool finish.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of this micro suede kind of thing. It does feel nice, but like I don't like things where you can see when you brush in the opposite direction. You know what I mean? So like it's not all one color. It's like a different tone if it's gone backwards. I just don't love that.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad though. It looks lovely. That's the thing with the Mach-E though. Like there's no color that looks bad, and there are no finishes on the inside that look bad.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job on all trim levels, making them look really nice. So whatever version, like we wouldn't be unhappy in any version of the Mach-E. So we're still sort of torn, and if you haven't watched our videos on like the whole process of switching, we probably wouldn't have switched if it wasn't for the great deal we got trading in our first edition. And part of it is like we thought we might make some cool, fun videos with the GT, as well as the fact that this ride is so much smoother in the Performance Edition. On roads like this, where we'd start getting that, like you could tell the back end would undulate.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Underused word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have to be honest. MagneRide is probably like the majority of the reason for wanting a GT Performance Edition. If you watched, we did like a GT versus GT Performance Edition versus First Edition sort of thing, and I still agree with what I said there, which was that I think you either get the premium or standard, or you get the GT Performance Edition. And like, there's no reason not to get the GT regular. Like, it's lovely, it's wonderful, but like, if you're going for bang for your buck, MagneRide. Like, and I just wish you could add that on. That would be amazing. Like that.
Yeah,
I'm
surprised
ultimate
that you can't get that on a premium, because that seems like that would be a perfect addition and sort of fit in with. It's a premium car, you get a premium ride. So I'm surprised they don't have that as an option. The 2023 order banks aren't open yet. Maybe, who knows, maybe they'll change that. Of course, the other big difference that we talked about we didn't need is the increased horsepower, increased torque, and definitely don't need it. The regular, all-wheel drive extended range is fantastic. It's quick. 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. This is 3.5. But in all reality, like even going up here, this is more powerful, and I can get up there to that guy's bumper, a half second quicker than in the first edition. But I'm still going to be right on his bumper and not being able to go anywhere. And not to mention that the speed limit is 55, and we're doing 55. So the power is always great. It's fun to play around with, but at the same time, it's, maybe 1% of the time is that like a huge big deal. A Model Y Performance just passed us a few seconds ago, and it's compared to that a lot. And 0 to 60, it's comparable to the Model Y Performance. So a lot of people are excited by that, but then they look at it and it's like, Model Y Performance beats it in the quarter mile. And I'm like, when have I ever did a quarter mile race? If that's your thing, then, you definitely, may want to consider a Model Y Performance, or you want the GT Performance over the first edition. Although with some of the power limitations, the premiums and first editions are about the same when you get to the quarter mile distances. So anyways, long story short, they're all fun, they're all quick. It's not like it's that big of a deal, and when we're driving around Denver, it makes pretty much zero difference most of the time.
And if anyone doesn't know about the power limitations,
so with the GT Performance Edition, it's been pretty well documented. There's a 5-second burst of power, full power, and then at that point, then you start getting scaled back power. And depending on what's going on, how hot it is, how hot the battery is. It could be up to like a 50% power reduction or whatever. And then you have to like give it a few seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, and then it restores the power back to full. In reality, like that's one of the big questions that people have been asking me is like, have you noticed a 5-second different cutoff? Not at all. Like I'm not, 0 to 60 is 3.5 seconds. So in 5 seconds, I'm probably doing 80 miles an hour. I'm at freeway speed. I'm,
you stop speeding up then.
So it's really, I haven't noticed it. Even when we were going up to Estes Park last weekend and it was like twisty, curvy roads, I did notice there were like the gray bars because the GT has the power meter. And when it starts limiting power, you can see the gray bars. A couple of times I noticed those popping up and you're like, oh no, my power is being limited. But then I'm looking at it and I'm using only like 10 to 15% of the whole graph. And it maybe eliminated the top 5 to 10%.
So like if this is the power bar, then the power meter, the gray part was there. I couldn't even see it at all, really. I had to put the camera right up there. So this whole portion was fine.
There were a couple of times where it got a little bit longer. And surprisingly, so here's the other thing about it too, is like, and we're still learning the car, but it wasn't necessarily like when I was doing hard accelerations and going up into some, mountainous inclines. It actually would start doing some of the long descents when we were coming home. And then you would see it start going and adding a little bit of gray bars. And the reason is regen actually generates quite a bit of heat. It's basically like you're not only are you using the car, but you're like charging as well. Oh, I just missed our turn.
Oh,
that's okay.
Oh, there's a reroute.
Yeah.
Easy reroute.
I have all the sound off so it doesn't bother the video. But now it's like,
and we're having a great time talking. Yeah, the place that I feel like one might be most concerned would be getting on a highway on-ramp as Patrick tries to navigate these tiny little streets. So you're worried about getting on a highway on-ramp, right? You're worried about getting up to speed and merging with traffic and all that. And it feels like that's more than 5 seconds, but it really isn't. It's not.
Yeah. We had some friends that wanted to check out the GT and see what the performance difference was. And I lit it up and spun the wheels and, it felt like it was, I was like, spinning the wheels all the way down the road or the street. In reality, I probably did it for like 0.3 seconds and they were like, wow. And then that was good enough. So
wow, it was like that. I think that the biggest reason, wow, isn't this pretty? I think the biggest reason that at least I felt you don't need a GT is because you don't. All the Mach-Es are great. Every trim is great, right? Every color is great. And if you just want to get into a Mach-E, you could get the standard range. You don't have to go all out. You don't have to even worry about getting a GT. You're still getting a beautiful car, a fantastically built car, a car that looks great in every color.
And I'm on this bumper.
Yeah, there you go. And a car that can do that as well. Like, it's not like the standard range. Oh, did you miss your turn again?
Yeah, I gotta start.
Stop getting distracted. I'm talking here. MagneRide. Okay.
See, look at that.
But you don't have to have MagneRide. Like, so basically what I'm trying to say is you're not going to get a bad car. You know what I mean? Like, we just get distracted all over here. You just want to make the drive longer. Is that why?
No, I'm normally pretty good, but I forgot, like I turned and made everything completely silent so we wouldn't get interrupted. And I'm just having fun talking.
Yeah, and it's like this weekend driving around and having a good time. We're very comfortable, and I will just note we're going to dinner, so we have food in the back and everything's in a box, but I didn't hear anything fall over. So I think MagneRide, could it be helping that? Maybe.
It hasn't been too crazy so far.
But like, yeah, ultimately, you do not need a GT or a GT Performance Edition to have a fantastic Mach-E or a fantastic Mach-E experience. You will have an amazing car, in my opinion.
Though, this is the type of road where I do notice that this is where I love having the GT. The power is nice. The MagneRide for the Performance Edition is really nice on these roads. And we can have a little bit of fun, but you know, it's been months since, well, besides last weekend, it's usually like quite a while between times when I'm actually doing this. Most of the time it's down in Denver. But if you're doing a lot of this and you want to do a lot of this on the weekends, the GT is great. And one of the reasons why I have a smile on my face, because we have the GT, and it feels so solid going through curves like this. And we're not going extremely fast because Liv would beat me.
Well, this is residential and we're being safe and respectful of these homes, right? And I would beat you.
Yes.
Someone's going to say something about that, right? Don't beat Patrick.
No, I know. I'm teasing.
Yeah, well, okay, so even if you do spend your weekends driving crazy like this, if you're in Colorado, it's very likely everyone else will be doing the same thing. So you're gonna hit traffic. So even then, if you have a premium Mach-E and you wanna go whip it around and everything, you'll be as limited by traffic as someone in a GT Performance Edition will be. Now,
or you'll be driving in a residential-ish area like this where it's curvy and fun, but somebody could pull out at any second. So
yeah, no, it's 40. He's driving 40-ish. But I am definitely having a more pleasant experience as a passenger while he's whipping around these things, because before I would definitely slide a little bit, which is not to say that you have to, but Princess Liv is very happy about that. It's pretty wonderful.
Yeah, and compared to any gas car that I've been in, this is still, whatever version we've been in, the first edition or this, it's still just way easier, way more comfortable driving on roads like this and on regular roads. Both are great road tripper cars. We haven't done a long road trip in the GT, but we are planning on going to California next month and repeating the trip we did in the first edition last year, over 1,000 miles in each direction. So look for that, and we'll get to test and see, do we really miss the range? Because the premium all-wheel drive extended range is now at 277 miles. We're only going to get 260 with this, and we'll report back to you, are we missing that? Are we frustrated for the fact that, we have to, charge a little bit longer? Because it's not going to change really what stops that we stop at, because the way they're spaced, we're going to probably hit the exact same charging stations, but it might mean we have 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes more of charging stops. So we'll report to you on that.
It'll be really interesting, and it'll be a similar time of year. I think last year, did we go in July?
No, we went in June.
Oh, June,
July. So it'll be hopefully
maybe less
cooler.
hot. Yeah,
because it was 120 at one point.
Yeah, although we want it to be the same,
Okay,
so we have an accurate. This is nuts. He's absolutely whipping it, and you can see. So, by the way, if the camera looks like we're on a boat or we're wobbling the camera, it's the image stabilization of the GoPro so that you're not subjected to stuff like that, right? But the fact that you can see me in my seat, that I'm not getting thrown around, is indicative of how the car is moving, and I'm actually being kept okay, because that was very curvy.
And we're almost there.
We're almost
a couple more miles, so we should probably wrap up.
Okay, fine. It's been so lovely chatting and enjoying this drive that we missed our turn.
Twice. See, I was trying to give us more time to chat.
Yes, totally. I mean, I gotta be honest, having filmed this in November when we were in the first edition, that was just the most wonderful car. We believe that it's now onto its new owners.
It went up for sale and then got transferred to CarMax, and then I haven't seen it listed yet. So the last I saw it was on CarMax's lot, but I didn't find it on their website. So
we want to track down OG Blucifer, not in a creepy way, but just we care about that car. It was a wonderful car. I remember that drive and talking about how we didn't need a GT, I remember it fondly, and I didn't feel bad about us not having a GT. And now that we're in a GT Performance Edition, I feel super great about that too. If you have a Mach-E, share your enthusiasm. Let us know your Mach-E trim, color, and name, because we love that. And congratulations to you on your Mach-E. If you don't have a Mach-E, if you have another EV, share what it is down below, because we're all about supporting the EV lifestyle, whatever it is. Which brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much to our patrons, to you for watching, and our patrons for supporting us. Their names are on the screen right now, and that was a crazy corner. Thank you guys so much for letting us drive like this and make videos, and for being here for this. And just remember that whatever you drive, even if it is not a GT Performance Edition with a crazy driver in the driving seat, enjoy the ride. Bye.